Go.
My name is AJ Terry, and I'm interviewing Mr. Bill Stundy, World War II veteran.
Thank you.
What were you doing before you joined the military?
What did I do before? I went directly from high school and went into the service.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
1943.
Where were you living?
Where was I living? In Cleveland, Ohio, on west side on 16th Street.
Where'd you go to school?
West Tech, which no longer is open, but there it was on West 96th, below Lorraine Avenue.
Okay. Do you remember the day that Pearl Harbor was attacked?
Do I remember it?
Yeah.
Very, very well. On account of that was in 41, as I recall, right? And in 44, I was there in the service already, looking at what they had done.
Okay. And what branch of the military did you serve in?
The Navy. Absolute Navy.
Did you have experience on boats? Did you have experience on boats before the war?
On boats?
Yeah.
Not really. I just thought I liked the Navy, and that's why I went on.
Okay.
Volunteered for it.
Did you ever get seasick?
Fortunately, I was sick for about 2 hours, and I never sick again.
Okay, that's good.
I think one of the few guys that was on that ship that didn't get sick.
Did you enlist or were you drafted?
No, on my 18th birthday, I enlisted.
That's good.
I wanted the choice of service.
Good. Why did you choose the Navy?
I just thought it'd be more exciting, and it was of my choosing not to want to be in the foxhole, so I joined the Navy.
Okay. Do you remember anything from boot camp?
From boot camp, I remember everything. Fortunately, when I went to boot camp, I used to play the saxophone. I played in the band up there in boot camp. Unfortunately, I didn't have a degree, so I couldn't follow that. I wrestled there, and I won the championship for our division, among other things. And the real interesting part was when Paul Brown was coaching the football team, and they took us all to the stadium to watch Notre Dame and Navy play, and that's when Navy beat them.
Really? That's good. Did you do any advanced training?
The advanced training was all. I spent a little over a year in different advanced training. For instance, I was very proud. I took 16-cylinder diesel engine apart when I was 18 and put it back together, and it ran. So that was pretty successful.
Where did you go during the war?
During what?
During the war, where did you go?
Oh, I spent most of my time, in fact, all the time that I was in the war, I was in the South Pacific. When I started in New York, went through the Panama Canal on an LST, and then from there we went across the pond, and we hit Saipan, we hit several of the islands, but the main one was when I received the star for battle in Okinawa.
Okay. What were you doing during the war?
Beg your pardon?
What were you doing during the war?
What I was doing? Oh, yeah, that's a good question because you should know. I was, my rank ended up being third-class fireman because every time I was up to be moved up, everything was full. Anyway, I spent time on diesel, and I was a diesel engineer, and my duties in the Navy were just to keep the engine running from the small boats from the LST to the land.
Okay. Did you see combat?
Yes, I saw plenty of that in Okinawa. That's where I got my battle scar. And that's rather odd because on the small boats that go on the shore is no gun. But I was a gunner in the 20 millimeter on the ship there, and we just shot. And what people don't know, we shot because we couldn't identify them, and there were more Americans shot down than the enemy. They won't tell you that story.
What was your most memorable experience?
Beg your pardon?
What was your most memorable experience?
Well, there were pretty out of them. I think the one that people might be interested. There was a typhoon in Okinawa when I was there, and here we were young people in a LST, about looking down, and the LST, if you didn't know, the LST before it was loaded would bend 1.5 feet in the middle. So we're watching this typhoon working, and the ship is spinning about 1.5 feet, and we're all cheering to get the survivors leave. And would you believe, nobody thought, would we survive? To this day, that's most unusual.
What do you remember about the other people in your unit?
Oh, they were all nice young people, all nice people. And the big memory, of course, is in Okinawa, we were there, they dropped the atomic bomb, just like from here to Parma Heights, maybe. And then the Navy's wisdom or unwisdom took 10 of people from several ships and stuff on a tour of where the bomb dropped and showing where it burned people into the cement and all that good stuff. But nobody ever thought if there were repercussions on that. And to this day, they don't really know. That's pretty interesting.
What was your everyday life like?
Oh, just work, sleep, and go to war.
Okay. Did you write any letters back home?
Oh, that was compulsory almost to send a letter, and at least once a month.
Okay. Was the food good there?
Beg your pardon?
Was the food good?
Was the who good?
Food. Did you like the food there?
Oh, the food, did
Yeah.
you say? Oh, the Navy had good food. We were very fortunate in the Navy. We would go ashore and even get milk now and then. So we did pretty good in that respect.
How were your other supplies or equipment?
Everything was great. Really, they did a great job for us. And you might be interested. People watching might be interested when the war was over. That's where we were. And we were not quite ready for the invasion. And all the supplies there, all the new jeeps, trucks, equipment, because the war was over, instead of bringing it back, the government felt it would hurt the economy, and they dumped it all in the water there.
Okay. What did you do to pass time?
What did you know what?
What did you do to pass time?
Probably most of the time sleep. A lot of the fellas would be playing cards. But other than that, for myself, I was not. This card player I might as well just give him the money and not go. So anyway, make a long story short, and they might be interested in also in the LST when they opened up the front door, the big front in the middle of the Pacific. They would do that, and we would go swimming right off of there. That's something different.
Do you remember VE Day and VJ Day when the war ended?
Oh yeah, sure. Everybody cheered. We were out in the middle of the water.
Exciting.
And another interesting tidbit. We transported probably 100 men or more in the LST from Japan to the United States in San Diego. and the LST in its fastest speed would be about 9 to 10 miles an hour. So it took us only 30 days to get home, but no soldier complained because we knew he was going home.
What was it like after the war?
Well, it was very good. Sometimes I think I should have stayed, but then like that was not to be, and that's the way it is. But and I would put a commercial in at this time. Any young man should put his tour in the service, because you come out and the VA is so great that you don't want to spend a dime for your having to take care of your medical problems.
What were your first memories of going home?
Of doing what?
Going home. Coming home.
Well, just getting ready to load up with the guys, the Army from the shore and stuff to take them on home.
Okay. Did you go to school after?
Yes, I finished I left high school, so I finished that, and I got a degree and worked from there.
Where did you live after the war? Did you come back to Cleveland?
Yes, I came back here, and my folks were in New York, but they moved here shortly after, and side a bit, I was really born in New York City, but I came here when I was 5 years old.
Okay. How did your career develop after that?
Well, it went pretty good. I was a tool and die maker for a long time, and then I ended up going in the banking business. And from the banking business, I ended up at the Cuyahoga County Treasurer's Office.
Did you go to any reunions after?
The union?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I did not. I often would have, but it was hard to tell when and what. But the thing to remember, I was, a lot of people, guys didn't like it. I was in LST, which had most complement would be about 5, 6 guys, and it was very informal as to as they see them on the big battleships, where there's like a city, we would meet some sailors off of the big battleship, and down quite frankly, at the bar, we would meet somebody else, and those two never even knew they were on the same ship.
Really?
So it's a matter whether you like big or small.
Do you have any pictures in this book you want to show me?
Well, it depends what kind of pictures you want to see.
Well, what do you think is important?
I think the biggest thing that has come out of that was the bomb that was dropped.
All right, so.
And you got a picture of that. So that picture that you see it now is not known anywhere. I mean, I don't ever say I've ever seen anybody have it. That's
this
it.
one?
That's it. That's when it exploded.
Anything else in this book?
No, you covered it pretty nicely. Very good. And I feel honored you interviewed me, and thank you for that.
Before we end it, show everybody your hat.
Oh, you want that? You want to see that? The LST, people don't know what LST is. That's what it looks like if you get a picture of it. If you can't, that's fine. Because I was on that, but I was in the small boats, which is LCT, and only 2 of us, the coxswain and myself, would run this small boat. It was my duty at all times to make sure that it run, and that was it. And that's it. And there's the Battle Star, so it's legitimate. So, see, and if you see those any place, we might have, that was for Okinawa, but they have them for Philippines and Saipan and a couple other areas. So, well, you quite covered? Yeah, so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Could go on, but that's not what this is for.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.